Hello, I'm Richard Ray, and joining me now is somebody you're going to recognize. If you are a fan of the Disney series Descendants, you'll certainly recognize her. And you're going to recognize Brenna D'Amico for some more stuff coming up with a psychological thriller called Night Night that opens in a few weeks. And you are the star of that, Brenna. How did you become involved with this project? Have you worked with director Nikki Koss before?
First of all, you said my last name perfectly, which is very difficult, but thank you for doing that. And I met Nikki in like early 2019, just through mutual friends. And in December of 2019, she brought me this script and she was like, I would love if you took a read, like if you read this. I'm directing it and I want to know your thoughts, and I see you as the lead, April Davis. And I read it and I was like, oh, this script is so good. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. And I was like, I'm absolutely in for that. And then we went to dinner, we got some sushi, talked about it, and we just like went from there. And it was amazing. And this is the first time I've ever worked with Nikki before.
I just recently rewatched a documentary called This Changes Everything, and talking about the glass ceiling that's really been an effect for females in the industry for a long time. More than half the crew in this case was a female. That had to be different from your normal experience, right?
Oh, absolutely. It was so refreshing to be around so many talented, powerful women working together. And it was just such a lovely feeling. The whole crew was absolutely phenomenal, with the biggest hearts and just the understanding of we just all wanted to make it like the days easy enough for us because we all had to get through the same day. And we all got so close and just had so much fun. I think this was one of my favorite sets to ever work on, any project ever, and always will be.
That's awesome. Well, you've had a lot of experience in TV and feature films. So do you have a preference of what kind of projects you like to work on?
I I've had more experience doing film, and I love being able to like dive into um, a character for a month or two or however long it's filming, and then as soon as that's done, I get a little break, and then I get to go on the next one and then find this new other person. But I am so excited for the future and maybe getting the opportunity to being able to develop a character over like the course of years on a TV show. That's just not something that I've experienced yet, but I'm super interested and intrigued by.
We're billing this as a psychological thriller, but for people who don't know what Night Night's about, maybe give us a thumbnail.
Oh, geez. When I first read the script, there were so many dark twists and turns that I just did not see coming. So I would say this film is just so thrilling in so many ways, and also so heartbreaking, because trust is lost, and there is a lot of loss in this film, but it's just so entertaining, and I think people are really going to be super excited when they see it.
Your character, April, is in fact the star of this movie. What did you do to prepare for that part?
I loved April as soon as I was reading about her. What I like to do for my creative process when developing and studying a character is like I give them little notebooks. So I had like a red notebook and I wrote down April's thoughts, her relationship with her brother Jax. Taylor Gray plays Jax, April's brother in the film, and he's great. Things about her family, things about her life, what she doesn't like, what she does like. And I think like the littlest details really pull together a character. So that was my creative process with her.
Did you draw a lot from your personality? Are you like her in some ways or very different?
I think I am similar to April in a lot of ways. I think how we handle our emotions, I think we're both headstrong and at the end of the day resilient, but I think we are a little stubborn in certain ways. I think the reasons I relate to April is she likes to handle things on her own a lot of the time and without asking for a lot of help. Um, and I think we do share that similarity. And I also just think she's so strong, and she's such a strong individual. And I think that really shows in the movie, and especially towards the end. And the ending is like my favorite part. And I loved doing so many of the stunts. And handling the props, and it was just a crazy time, and Nick Morini, who plays Robert, was so helpful with that.
Talk about working with some veteran actors on this, Tony Todd and Eric Roberts. A learning experience, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, it was great. And I was like, oh my goodness. I just was so excited to study and like watch their creative process, because I know everybody's creative process is so different. And my parents came into town and were visiting set, and they were huge fans of Eric Roberts. So they met him and were just like, oh my gosh, and kind of fangirling. And I thought that was so sweet. But like I said, everybody on set was just so nice and so collaborative. And it was also just so much fun. I know we were filming a very like dark psychological thriller, but it was just so much fun at the same time.
Doing these interviews, I hear over and over again people talking about what a team effort it was. It felt like family. Is that what it was for you too?
It really was. And I know a lot of people say uh being on set and being with this cast and being with everybody, it was like a family, but it truly was. um in between takes and all of that, we were all just so on each other's team. Everybody was, and I feel like that was super helpful, getting through the day and getting everything we needed to done, just because everybody was just so on each other's team and had each other's backs the whole time.
Nikki Koss has done directing on other projects, but this is her first feature film. Uh, I found her. I thought she directed me like she'd been at it for a long time, but then I'm a newbie, so I don't know.
Right? I was shocked. She was she was just awesome. The things and the ideas that she had were so Nikki, and when they were executed, they just worked. They just fit. And she was so collaborative, and she just is such a actor's director. She just knew what kind of questions to ask, or if we were having trouble on something, she just knew how to get us there in the most collaborative, like safe spaced way. And it was so nice, like watching her work. I would shadow her on days that I wasn't working and watch her direct everybody else.
I hear this over and over again, but that a lot of people had a lot of fun. Even though this is a dark story, you had a lot of fun on it. Is there a really fun memory or two you want to share?
Oh, there's so many. I think one of my favorites was me and the boys got so close, and we are still very good friends. I still see them a good amount of time, and we still hang out. But after we would work, we would just like go back to the house and chill and, sit by the fire and talk and laugh. But I think one of my favorites was the last day. It was a night shoot. And I was in this like red dress, and it was, the end of the movie. And I was like, okay, I am starving. Because I was in work mode. I was like, okay, this is the last day, we got to get through it. So I just had like no time for anything but for my head to be in the game. And at 4 a.m., Austin, our first AD, I was like, okay, right now, can you go get me 4 garlic loaves from lunch or dinner earlier? And he was like, you want 4 loaves of like garlic bread? And I was like, yes, please. So he, over the walkies, he was like, guys, Brenna's asking for 4 garlic loaves. Please bring them up. And Harrison, our PA, brought them up. And in between takes, Austin would just hold them. And then when we would stop, he would give me a bite. And then he would hold them. It was so funny. And I have a picture somewhere of me in this red dress just holding my loaves of bread in between takes.
It does sound like a lot of fun. Before we let you go, I want to ask you what you're working on now. What going forward should people be looking for from Brenna D'Amico?
Oh, I have a single that I did with another artist, Liberty, just came out. And then I have another single coming out that I did about 3 weeks ago. And it's more in the pop punk realm of things. And I'm super excited to explore music more. But over the summer, I did 2 horror short films. I love dark, and I love that I'm getting to experience and play more with, darker projects. And those are really, really great and super, super scary. I was even like, oh, this is so scary. And then next year I'm working on a beautiful, edgy, also music related indie film next year. So I'm very excited to film that. It's filming in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay, so if folks want to keep track of some of that stuff, what's the best way to follow you?
Instagram is Brenna D'Amico, just my name. So is Twitter. And then my TikTok is Brenny, BRENNIE 88. My Facebook is also Brenna D'Amico. So
if you want more on the film, check it out on nightnightmovie.com. And Brenna D'Amico, hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.